Hi guys, I hope your day is going great. I can't wait to share this with you, so let's get to it. In this video, we're going to take a look at the new GPX UI for GroovePacker. So we created this new UI for two reasons. We wanted to increase the responsiveness during scanning. And we also wanted to have a UI that would work on both desktop and mobile, so that you could easily use it on either and switch back and forth. We'll start with the Ready for Order page here. You can see we have a scanning field where you would scan in an order number or a tracking number, depending on how you're queuing orders for scanning. And that would get submitted and that would display the order. You'll see we also have a quick scan button. So this chooses an unscanned order from your awaiting list, and you can queue that order just by clicking on it. For now, we'll just enter in an order number here and hit enter. So it finds that order in the system and displays it. So the interface is familiar. We've got unscanned items over here on the left-hand side. And then as these items are scanned, we'll move them across to the right-hand side. We also have a completely new mobile version of the scanning page, and that will look like this. So we've got the suggested item in the top center here, and then the unscanned items in the current order are displayed below. We also have a scanned tab and an activity log. So as items are scanned, they move to the scanned tab rather than moving from the left side to the right side. And then this activity log, you'll see in a second, also shows down here below the items. So that's just quick access to view the log of each action for the order. Okay, so for now, we'll focus on the desktop UI. And just keep in mind that everything that's done here and everything that's displayed here will also show up on mobile. So other than the familiar 3-column design, you'll see the entire interface has been updated. Basically, we're able to display a whole lot more information for the products, and everything is a good bit clearer and larger. You can also scale the size of the interface. Just hold down the Control or Command key and use the plus and minus keys to adjust the size based on your monitor. For a typical packing station when you're not sitting right in front of it, you'll want to have it as large as possible, while still being able to see the last few scans in the activity log. So let's look at some of the things that have changed from the old interface to the new interface. So we no longer have to click on the SKU to pass an item. We now have a pass button. Just as before, you can disable this for some items or all items. But when it's enabled now, you'll be able to just click there on the button. You can also use the pass barcode. So to do that, you would basically print out a barcode that just has the word pass on it in all caps. And when that is scanned, it's going to take the same action as if you clicked the pass button. And as before, we still keep track of that differently. So you'll be able to tell in the logs if the items were scanned or the pass button was used. Another change is how we can remove and add items to an order just by scanning a barcode. So if you needed to make a substitution while you're scanning, this can now be done very quickly. You can remove the current item by scanning a remove barcode. So that would look like this. You'd basically scan that barcode, and that would remove the currently displayed item from the order. And then to add another item in its place, you can use the Add Next barcode. So you'd scan this, and then you would scan the item that you want to add. And it would automatically add that item and mark it as scanned. So now substitution can be done just in seconds. You no longer have to go to the order list here and make the change that way. And then we mentioned the activity log, so let's see what that looks like. So to start, I'll just click on the pass button here. And we can see that it logs the date and time and tells us the quantity of that particular SKU was passed with the pass option. It shows my username there and that I'm scanning on the GPX app. So we can also give it the UPC and see how that is logged. So I'm going to click on the UPC, which now copies that to my clipboard. And I can paste it in here. All right, and then we'll see that it tells us that it was scanned with that particular barcode now. So it recognizes the difference between scanning and passing. The counting looks slightly different in the GPX app. We display the count in a unified way, whether it's in the unscanned list or the suggested item or the scan list. We show the number that has been scanned and then the total number that will need to be scanned. So as we scan each piece, it counts this off to us and tells us how many more we need to scan. All right, and now that we've scanned a few items, we can jump back to the other UI. And you can see if we click on the Scanned tab here, you can see all the items that have been scanned. Nice. Okay, so let's look at some of the functionality that is new for the GPX app. Occasionally, we see cases where there are some items in an order that are scanned now and some that will be scanned later. And sometimes the ones that are being verified now are actually going to require the pass option. So for example, this loose hair tool is the next item that's being suggested for us to scan. And we might be fulfilling this and most of the other items later. We actually just need to fulfill the bread juicer at the moment. The problem is we need to use the pass button for this item since it's not barcoded. So this wasn't really possible before because you could only, pass an item that was being suggested. So now you can just click or tap on the image of the item, and that will make it the suggested item. And then you're able to use the pass button to pass it. Of course, if it has a barcode, you can always scan it, even if it's not the suggested item. But now the same flexibility exists for the pass option. Another thing that you could do is remove the item to do a substitution using the remove and add next barcodes that we looked at earlier. So you would just tap on an item to make it suggested, and then once it's active, you can just use the remove barcode. Next, I want to show you a mobile-only option. As you can see, the suggested item here takes up quite a bit of view. This means less room for other unscanned items, so we've added an option. So when you're in the mobile view, you'll have a little arrow here, and you can click on that and view the list without the featured item. And it's going to allow you to move between the scanned list and unscanned list as well. But now we can see many more items are visible without that suggested item featured at the top. So that's a nice feature. We've also collapsed those other options here, just to give you a little bit more screen real estate. Another thing worth noting on the mobile interface is when you're opening this on a mobile device, you would open it in the native mobile browser of the platform. So in iOS, that would be Safari, and on Android, that would be Chrome. And you can use the options menu there to save a link or shortcut to your home screen. This will allow you to launch this as an app versus opening it just in the browser. One benefit to doing this is that the browser navigation won't need to be shown when it's launched as an app, and that will give you more screen real estate for the actual items on the order. Another nice feature in the GPX app is that you can now begin imports right from the scanning page. This is really helpful if you're on a mobile device and you want to quickly import the most recent orders. Just tap the Import Now button here and any new orders will import and be ready to scan. The last new feature I want to show you is one of my favorites. The workflow for adding missing barcodes has been completely redesigned. It's even faster than before and now supports passing for unbarcoded items. Let's take a look at how it works. When you queue an order containing an item that doesn't have a barcode assigned, the order now opens in the regular interface. The item with the missing barcode now has an Add Barcode button. Just tap the button, scan the barcode you want to assign, and it's added and marked scanned. If you only have specific users that are trusted to add barcodes, you'll be happy to know that this option respects the user permissions, so you'll have full control over who can add barcodes. Also, with this workflow change, you can now use the Pass option to visually verify unbarcoded items without skipping a beat. This is a huge time saver if you're shipping brand new inventory that hasn't been barcoded yet. Another thing that we've revamped is the Receive and Recount section. So to demo this, we'll go ahead and grab a UPC code, click on that there, and we'll go to the Receive section. So this is similar to the Receive and Recount that we had previously. We've just added some new workflow options, so now you can optimize the workflow for just entering the quantity that's received, or entering the location, or both. And then we also have the option to scan each piece, where you're actually counting and verifying the items with the scanner. So let's look at a couple of these. We'll start with this one. Enter quantity received and then location. So first we'll scan the item. And you can see that it places the cursor here in the quantity received field, and we can immediately type the quantity. Okay, since we're receiving, it's going to add this to what we have on hand. Actually, maybe we'll change it to 30. So we've got an even 900. Okay, perfect. And then when we hit enter, it's going to move the cursor over to the location field next. If we had chosen just to update the quantity, then it would save the change, close this page, and let us scan the next item. But here we're updating the location too, so let's say this is just moving to a different bin. So we're going to put B19 here. Okay, and now we hit enter. And now it brings us back to this page where we can immediately scan the next item. This makes for super fast updates for both receiving inventory and doing recounts. The other option I want to show you is the scan each piece received. I'm excited to share this because we had so many requests for it. So we can change the workflow here and then we'll scan an item. Okay, and in this mode, it is ready for us to scan multiple pieces, and it's going to count each as we scan it. This is super helpful if you have a large box of items that need to be counted. Not only will you get an accurate count, but you'll also be able to verify that there are no similar but different items, because each barcode will be verified as well as counted. After we scan all of them, we'll use the Save button and the inventory levels are updated. I think that's a good place to wrap up. I hope you guys really enjoy the GPX app. I'll be back with more videos showing some of the other new features. Thanks for watching. Have a groovy day!